Now, an event celebrating one of the most famous Bristolians starts tonight, the 3rd annual Cary Grant Festival.
Yeah, and this year the festival will be looking at his collaborations with the master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock.
Well, our reporter Robert Murphy is with Cary now. Well, with his statue anyway. Rob, where are you?
Yes, I'm in Millennium Square, where Cary always is and has been for years. It's normally out in the open, but a ski bar has grown around it here ahead of Christmas. I wonder what he would have made of it. It's quite debonair. I think he would have liked it. Of course, he had a long journey all the way from Horfield to Hollywood, and he had some troubled times along the way, and those are in part being discussed in this festival. He was the best and most important actor in the history of cinema, some critics say. Cary Grant somehow blended smouldering looks, a sinister undercurrent and slapstick comic timing.
Who are you? I don't know. I'm not quite myself today.
He was born Archie Leach in a Horfield terrace and went to Bishop Road School near the Gloucester Road. A walking tour shows how he adored his home city and returned frequently after finding stardom. The Hippodrome was a huge part of Archie Leach's youth, wasn't it?
I know, well, you know, it's science that did it, because his science teacher invited the electrician who just wired the Hippodrome. It's one of the first public buildings to be wired. And Cary Grant was really fascinated, and he was invited to come and look at the wiring of the Hippodrome. And then he just got completely kind of inspired by all the backstage stuff that's going on. He used to hang around the docks and kind of look at the tall ships and fantasise about sailing away to better times, better places. And he actually tried to get a job as a captain's boy, but they wouldn't let him because he didn't have his parents' permission. Oh, I love this image. We think it was taken around 1956 when the City Hall was opened, and Bristol Post took the photo. And they used to take photos of him and have an exclusive photo shoot with him if they left him alone for the rest of his stay, because of course he came back every year, once or twice a year.
He even helped with campaigns like publicising the need for a new roof on the cathedral in the 60s, seeing the newly returned SS Great Britain in the 70s. He brought 3 of his 5 wives here. A century on, and Bristol has an enduring fascination with the Horfield tearaway who sailed away to become the biggest movie star on the planet. The interest isn't just on this incredible success story, but also the mystery, the enigma of the man himself. Who really was he? Where did Archie Leach stop? And where did Cary Grant begin? The festival will discuss the drama of how, when aged 9, Archie returned home to find his mum gone. She had died, he was later told. It was decades later, when he was a film star, that he learnt his dad had had his mother committed to an asylum. She was alive, and they were reunited. None of his fans knew of his struggles with the man behind that screen idol mask. To them, he was Cary Grant, the debonair, comic, romantic hero.
You can't place him. He's kind of metrosexual, cosmopolitan. He's got that weird mid-Atlantic accent, and therefore you can project all sorts of things and fantasies onto him. And I think they always say, you know, men wanted to be him and women wanted to be with him. I just think he's a really interesting figure.
Cary Grant was the troubled boy from Horfield who made it to the Hollywood Hall of Fame. Well, there are 3 days of events coming up. There are discussions, there are film screenings. There are film screenings where you can dress up like Cary Grant. And of course, there's the walking tour around Bristol, which ends up right here with Cary.
Robert Murphy in Bristol, thank you.